The overall energy at the bottom of the deck for your reading is the Hierophant. Oh man, you guys got a lot going on. I think this has to do more with family than anything else. This may have to deal with your mother and father. I feel like some of you are in a position where your parents are in their elder years, and you have to ask yourself whether or not you can move them into your home, provide for them, or you and your siblings may be deciding how you're going to help mom and dad now that they're in their older years. Maybe you are talking about getting a nurse to come in, or maybe you're talking about moving your parents into your home or a sibling's home, and talking about how you're going to share in the responsibilities. Now, I think that for a lot of you, this may be, if that's a situation that applies to you, I think you're the one moving the parent into your home, or your parents together into your home. And I think it's really about, it's a new time for your parents. I think that for some of you, your parents may be very independent, and it may be a sacrifice for them to have to do this. Maybe it's a sacrifice for you as well, financially, and also, with your energy, spending more time caring for them, helping them. And it is a sacrifice. However, I feel like for you, there may be a financial there's a rebudgeting or looking at finances differently, and I feel like whatever you're doing this month is actually going to be very financially beneficial to you. So it may be like a situation where you move parents into your home. You think it's going to be more of a financial sacrifice. However, they're able to help you out in some way financially. They're able to contribute some way. And so it does help you in that way. The key here is to not get dependent on that help later on down the line, okay? Really try to separate your finances from theirs. That's one message. For others of you, I feel like this kind of talks about maybe some of you are working in the same line of work that your parents did, or you are considering, or your parents are asking of you to work in a certain line of work that they've worked in. Your father was an attorney, so he wants you to be an attorney. Your father owns a shop, and he wants you to take it over at some point. And I think this is you kind of standing your ground with an authority figure. It doesn't have to be parents, but it can be an authority figure. It can be a boss even, who's asking you to do a job that, you're like, I'm tired of this. I want to do something different, or I want to grow with the company. I want something new. So I feel like you're having to stand up for yourself to your parents or to an authoritative figure of some kind and speak your truth about what you really want. And it's about coming out of a situation where maybe you have felt bound, okay, and you felt like you couldn't move before, and this is a month in which you speak your truth. The Hierophant's about knowledge and wisdom, but he expresses it. He opens up about it. He communicates it. So you're communicating with others about your truth, and you're wanting a new way of living. You're wanting a new job, new promotion, or you're wanting some type of new beginning here. And you may have to oppose an authority figure, or maybe it's not even maybe opposing your parents per se, but maybe it was the way you were raised. Like, this is what you do. When you become an adult, you get a job, you go to college, you get a job, you make money, you buy a house, you settle down, you get married, and maybe that's not for you. Maybe you're really speaking your truth this month, or owning up to your truth and saying, just because that's the way I was raised or that's what I was taught, that's not what works for me. I need something different. I want to do something new. I want to be a little selfish, and I want to do what makes me happy. And it may be that this month you're standing up for that, and you're actually taking a risk and doing that, you know, putting it into action. Because the way you've been doing things is no longer working for you. You're not happy with the way things have been. Maybe in a family situation, maybe a work situation where you feel some sense of loyalty or obligation, maybe to your parents, but you're wanting something completely new, and you're wanting to go and live your truth in a way. So let me do some clarifying cards on this. And I want to look at the Devil card first. I want to say too, you know, so far I've done maybe half the readings this month, for the month of August. And a lot of people are getting this, like, awakening. And I think it has something to do with the eclipse that's happening this month. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it may be something you want to read up on. There's a solar eclipse happening. I believe it's on August 24th. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty certain that's the date. And there's supposed to be a lot of new change. It's supposed to be a major solar eclipse. So if you haven't looked it up or read about it, then maybe something you want to do. But a lot of us are going through this significant change and having the courage to go after what we want. One more thing here I want to say before I pull cards, because this message just came to me. If you're dealing with an addiction of any kind, this is the month where it's going to end. This is the month where you are taking a stand and you are realizing you can't do things the way that they have been done. You are taking ownership for your addiction. And I think it's going to take parents, relatives, family, or it may be an aunt and uncle, you know, type of, it doesn't have to be mother and father, but some type of family coming in to help you with this. Or maybe just two people that love you dearly, who you consider family, who may be a married couple, who want to help you, okay? For those of you where this is an addiction, absolutely. Fickleness, this is, you know, going back and forth in our decision making. It's like, I don't want to be this way, but I am this way. Well, you feel trapped and imprisoned, and a friend is coming in to help, okay? For those of you where this is about you breaking free, and this is about you being a little bit selfish and thinking about what you want rather than what other people have set limitations for you on. This is about you breaking free from that and being your own best friend, right? Looking at what works for me, not what works for everybody else, because what works for everybody else is making me feel trapped. And really, there's no significance to it. It doesn't matter because it's my life, not theirs. Okay? Let me look at the Hanged Man. Saying goodbye to something, yeah, sacrificing something because you've learned something. And it's communication. You're communicating this truth. So, you know, it's about, look, I love you, but I have to let you go. That can be an idea, that can be a person, that can be what others want for you. I love you guys, but look, I can't do what you want me to do because I'm realizing that my true happiness is somewhere else, okay? And you're communicating that. So there is a sacrifice here. Either you're making a sacrifice by leaving an addiction behind, or you are making a sacrifice in the sense that you may feel like you're letting other people down in a way, but you don't. You're communicating that that's not your intent. Your intent is really just to follow what works for you and do what's best for you. Okay. Now let's look at love for Sagittarians for the month of August. This will be again for singles and couples. What are the love messages for Sagittarius? details and strategies. Okay. My Virgo cannot stand this thing being so wrinkled. It's driving me crazy. Four of Swords is our first card. Eight of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Well, money is on the mind this month. Page of Cups. The High Priestess. Five of Cups. And the King of Cups. The bottom of the deck, overall energy for your reading, is the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this is what I'm getting, guys. There's a Sagittarius or two who may have already left a water sign. Okay, and that could be a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. And that could be either dominant in their chart or their sun, moon, or rising, okay? I think you've already left this person, and I think this person's trying to return this month, and I think that they're trying to reinstate your relationship. I feel like, I don't know, I mean, I feel like there's a time period of the separation being 4 to 5 weeks to 4 to 5 months. And I think that you've been really focused on working on you. And I think that there's a water sign, though, that, you know, they come in and out. And I feel like you're finally telling this person, look, I can't give you what you want from me, or you haven't given me what I need from you. There's also something here about, I feel like if you are in a relationship, you've been trying to work on your relationship with this water sign, but I think intuitively you know that it lacks a lot. Money is an issue in this relationship. I feel like money is something you fight about. I also want to say, somebody feels like they're getting the short end of the stick, like one partner's doing more than the other. But I also want to say, emotionally, it's lacking. And there's a strong lack of communication in this relationship. I feel like you're trying to offer something to this person, like you're really trying to make a substantial offer. You're still working on trying to make this relationship work. But at the end of the day, this person is emotionally fickle. I feel like they're emotionally immature, and I don't feel like you're going to find true happiness in this relationship. Let me look at the High Priestess here with my clarifying card. Yeah. This was a relationship in the past, if you're single and this person's returning. I feel like this person brought you joy and happiness, but there was an abrupt ending in this relationship, and now they're trying to communicate with you again. I feel like this person comes in and out, but they're always there. They're always around. And at the same time, you just feel like, look, we ended this. Like, I'm done. I'm not repeating this cycle with you. Like, this person just doesn't know when to leave you alone, and it's because they are so distraught over the fact of losing you. But for others of you where you're in a relationship, the Five of Pentacles talks about there being this abrupt ending to your happiness in this relationship. I feel like this already happened, because I feel like you two haven't been really communicating about your true feelings, perhaps. You've been trying to work on it, but whatever you're working on, it's on a surface level. It's like emotionally, things are still really messed up, okay? And also financially, things are just not, you're trying, but financially it's just not panning out. So there's a conversation that needs to take place, being that this is on the Five of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, it's on the High Priestess. Being that this is on the High Priestess, these are things that aren't being communicated. You know, it's like this is saying this needs to happen. You need to communicate it. You need to talk about what's really going on here. Because ultimately, look, it's going to end anyway. Let me look at the Five of Cups. You can't work on things on a surface level. I mean, that's not ever going to work. There's got to be something real there, and if it's not there, it's just not there. You can't make it be there. Okay, so Five of Cups, we have like illness, but I want to say emotional illness, a friend, and the house. This person is sick over losing you. They're sick over losing you. They lost something really good because they not only lost a partner, they lost a friend. So they're coming back in the picture. They've been there, right? In and out, wanting to reconnect. But for those of you who are in a partnership, this is sadness because there's an ending. There was a friendship here. There was a strong connection. You guys are in a serious committed relationship. Maybe you are married. Maybe you do live together. Maybe you have a family together. Maybe you have really close ties with each other's families. But this relationship is not well. And you have to face the fact that that's the case. And you have to acknowledge it and deal with it. Okay?